legislature. The Rule of Law Caucus has endorsed the decision with sadness, stating the continuous defiance of the rule of law by the executive despite the Supreme Court ruling. Loss of significant number of members willing to sit under not willing to sit under Speaker Kofa's gavel, and the need to reconstitute the House through election in accordance with Article 49 so as to return the House to constitutional order. Citizens of Bakpolu County have described the government's main water project in the county as a waste of state resources following the system failure to pump water for the locals. The Liberian Water and Sewer Corporation recently dedicated a mini water facility worth over 200,000 United States dollars in Bakpolu City, which is aimed at providing safe drinking water for residents of the county. LWSC initiative, which among other things aligns with the United Nations General Assembly 2020 explicit recognition of the rights of humans to have access to safe drinking water and sanitation, has now turned out to be a disappointment for residents of the county and the government. Citizens speaking over the weekend condemned the facility. They termed the situation as a total disservice and a betrayal of the right to have safe drinking water. The body of a man believed to be in his late 20s was discovered early Sunday morning in Badnersville House in Estate Area B. According to reports, he went out with some of his friends at a local bar in the area after he received some cash from his elder sister. Eyewitnesses further narrated that he was a resident of New Georgia Township and might have been killed before dragged to where his body was discovered. The Ministry of Justice has appealed to community leaders to serve as ambassadors of the government in creating awareness and combating mob justice throughout the country. The special assistant to the Minister of Justice, Yafa Kemokai, said the Liberia National Police and other state security cannot be deployed or stationed everywhere in the country, and community leaders should serve as eyes for the government to ensure that mob justice is not tolerated in communities. Anthony Atlaw Kemokai made the appeal when he spoke on behalf of Justice Minister Oswald Twe at the lecture forum organized by the National Politburo of Liberia in Clarendon the weekend. Also speaking at the lecture forum, the coordinator of the Anti-Mob Justice Project at the Ministry of Justice, Antonin Abigail Besiji, said feasibility studies conducted thus far has shown that mob justice occurs merely in community predominantly by low-income earners. Former maritime boss and now chief of office staff to former President George Weah, Len Eugene Nagbe, has launched a formal complaint with the Liberia National Police against the allegation made by the brother of Cletus Noah. Mr. Noah served as chief of office staff to former Finance and Development Planning Minister Samuel Twe during his 6 years as Minister of Finance. Tuzo, the brother of the late Cletus Noah, had accused Len Eugene Nagbe and others of having a hand in the death of his brother. Mr. Nagbe told reporters at LNP headquarters Monday the police took note of his complaint and has ordered the funeral home to stop work on the body until an autopsy is conducted to determine the cause of Cletus Noah's death. The government of Liberia, through the National Fisheries and Aquaculture Authority, with support from the World Bank, broke grounds for the construction of fish hubs in Clay District, Birmingham County. The ceremony marked a broader initiative to empower fish farmers, reduce reliance on imports, and position Liberia as a competitive player in regional fish markets. Speaking at the ceremony, NAFAR Executive Director Cyrus Sigbe hailed the project as a landmark achievement in Liberia's journey towards self-reliance and inclusive economic growth. According to Sigbe, Liberia's fisheries and agriculture sector has long faced challenges, including high operational costs, limited access to affordable fingerlings, and heavy dependence on imports. He added that the new facility will address the hurdles faced by offering a sustainable, locally produced supply of high quality fingerlings, ensuring year round availability for fish farmers across the country. Mr. Segwet noted that the fish hubs will also include a strong research and development component, supported in collaboration with the Central Agricultural Research Institute and academic institutions. He also said NAFAR is adopting a public-private partnership model to operate a facility, ensuring efficiency, transparency, and strong investment opportunities. Also speaking at the event, World Bank country manager Georgia Wallin commended the government for its vision and leadership in achieving the milestone on the Liberia Sustainable Management of Fisheries project. She emphasized the need of importance of strengthening aquaculture as a strategy to relieve pressure on marine ecosystems, particularly in the face of climate change. QNet, a global wellness and lifestyle company, has concluded a one-day comprehensive workshop for journalists at Boulevard Palace Hotel in Cinca. The one-day comprehensive product workshop was aimed at strengthening its relationship with the Liberian media and deepening public understanding of its business model and products. Speaking during the opening of the workshop, QNet Deputy Regional Manager for Sub-Saharan Africa, Sharif Abdullahi, emphasized the company's ongoing commitment to transparency and collaboration with the media. The event spotlighted QNet's multifaceted media engagement strategy in Liberia, from in-person media briefing to online webinars and one-on-one interview with local executives, global executives. The company has made deliberate efforts to open its door to journalists. According to Abdullahi, such impressive experiences help demystify the brand and its products, expressing deep concern about reports of individuals misusing the QNet name to commit fraud or promising fake jobs and travel opportunities. Executive members of True Wing Party have announced the party willingness to support its national chairperson ongoing effort to hold national convention. Speaking in an interview with reporters in Monrovia, Adolphus Kepa, executive director, reaffirmed the party's commitment to working with its chairperson for the upcoming national convention. Kepa added that the True Wing Party is also committed to national development and better leadership, noting that the party's leadership vision is aligned with the current revitalization efforts. Mr. Kepa disclosed that the party is preparing to convene a national convention in the coming weeks as key event he described as central to the repositioning of True Wing Party within Liberia's evolving political landscape. He noted that the party's revival strategy is rooted in national unity, democratic values, and inclusive development. He expressed gratitude to the Liberian people for their continued support to the Unity Party-led government, signaling a willingness to collaborate across party lines for the greater good of the country. The Liberia International Student Solidarity Movement is calling on the government to ensure swift intervention for the return of Liberian students studying in India. A release from the International Students Organization quotes its chairman, Hassan Daga, that their call is triggered by the ongoing conflict between India and its neighboring country, Pakistan. The release quote Chairman Diga as saying, the crisis is escalating, posing threats to the lives of students and citizens of Liberia residing in that Asian country, either for education or better living condition. The LISSM release noted that the escalating crisis has resulted to death threats over Liberians in India, especially the students who are seeking higher education aimed at returning to Liberia for a better society that will impact their lives, including their loved ones. The release further asserted that the government of Liberia's speedy intervention would save Liberians from potential health threats due to the use of heavy weapons by the two countries. Scores of partisans from all Liberian Coalition Party under the banner of Aggrieved National Youth Congress and its collaborating partners have formally petitioned the Ministry of Justice for a permit to hold a series of protests from May 19 to the 20th. In a communication addressed to Justice Minister Oswatwe, the group stated its intent to advocate for greater accountability, transparency, leadership integrity, and good governance within ALCOP, describing these principles as fundamental to the party's future success and essential for Liberia's broader democratic and economic progress. The petitioners emphasized the protests aim to raise awareness and push for internal reforms within the party's leadership structure, assuring the authorities that all planned actions will be peaceful, orderly, and intended to foster constructive civic engagement. According to the organizers, the protest activities are scheduled to take place at two key locations in central Monrovia: the National Disaster Management Agency and ARCO building. The sites, they noted, were selected for their symbolic relevance and public accessibility, intended to amplify their message and engage a wider cross-section of Liberians. In a sweeping enforcement operation aimed at curbing the growing wave of illegal mining activities in the country, the Ministry of Mines and Energy has confiscated a cache of contraband mining equipment and shut down unauthorized mining operations in Todi District, Montserrado County. According to a release from the Ministry of Mines, the compliance was enforced by inspectors of the Ministry's Compliance and Enforcement Unit. The release stressed that among the materials seized include industrial water pumps, air compressors used for blasting, and a range of hoses equipment typically used in commercial scale mining operations. The Ministry of Mines release disclosed that the team also confiscated the keys to an excavator reportedly owned by a man identified as Emmanuel Younger. The ministry added that the equipment was being used in the absence of a verified mining license. The Ministry of Mines and Energy emphasized that the operations not only violate national mining regulations, but also defraud the government by circumventing tax obligations and environmental protocols. Such acts, in one, undermines legitimate mining operations and rob the state of critical revenue needed to support public development projects. And the Liberia Medical and Dental Council has revoked the medical license of Dr. Peter George, citing serious discrepancies in his academic credentials. The decision, confirmed in a communication April 21 and signed by both the chairlady of LMDC, Dr. Benita Collins Andrew, and Registrar General Dr. Augustus Squire, follows a rigorous credential audit launched by the council earlier this year.
Sam Andrews there with the news. Border thing is a regular feature on King's Newsroom. 45 minutes of news about Liberia and elsewhere. In one of our top developments this afternoon, Ibatu House Speaker Councilor Funati Kofa officially resigns as Speaker of the 55th House of Representatives following months of leadership struggle at the lower house. He described his fight as a good fight for the sake of the Liberian democracy. We are taking a very short break. When we come back, we'll bring you voices of the newsmakers. Welcome back and thanks for rejoining us. Let's now take our first development. The body of a man believed to be in his early 20s was discovered early Sunday morning in the Bonneville Housing Estate Area A. According to reports, he went out with some friends at a local bar in the area after he received some cash from his elder sister. Eyewitnesses further narrated that he was a resident of New Georgia Township and might have been killed before dragged to where his remains were found. Let's now get a reaction from the citizens. That's a reaction from residents of Bonneville following the discovery of a body of a man believed to be a resident of that area. And now, up to the next development, citizens of Bopolu City have described the government's main water project in the county as a waste of state resources, following the system's failure to pump out water for the locals. The government of Liberia, through the Liberia Water and Sewer Corporation, recently dedicated a main water facility worth over 200,000 United States dollars in Bopolu City, which is aimed at providing safe drinking water for residents of the county. However, the government's initiative, which among other things aligns with the United Nations General Assembly's 2024, the 2020 explicit recognition of the right of human to have access to safe drinking water and sanitation, has now turned out to be a disappointment for residents of the county. Speaking with Kings Evan over the weekend in Bopolu City, residents revealed that since the dedication of the water facility, they are then facing that finding it difficult to get access to the water due to the malfunctioning of the water system.
Water system, the prayer was too happy. Because water is in life that water. You want to drink that water. Okay. You drink that water. You say you go anywhere, put the tablet of water. Okay. Yeah. But they bring water, but up to now, we're not understanding the water system. Okay. The water not coming. They're not coming on time. In all the community, they're crying. And they made our head, the rats our head. You make it be my own water, all the water, all the body. They just can collect money they eat, and the last world, the not water not nowhere. Imagine on daybreak, you see people can be in a land, no water coming.
The pump is malfunction. When water coming, you will need 10 minutes before a cup to get a cup of water. And another how it's supposed to be. And when they go back to Monrovia, they tell me, oh, we tell the country is happy, the country. It's a big lie. It's not, nobody is happy here. You see, if the water running, you see, inside Brad, no, nothing there.
For his part, the chief security and assistant operator of the LWSC Bopolu County Water Facility acknowledged the citizens' concerns and attributed the situation to the contractor's failure to properly dig the well before inserting the pipes into the ground. He, however, called on the LWSC manager Mo Ali to take immediate action to address the constraints confronting the citizens.
Is that we are pumping the water, but the pumping of the water is very slow. So I think I may likely tell the government of Liberia to make sure that they should help us in the process. How the contractors should come back and to try and dig well or to redig the well so that we can able to. Yeah, we are very engaging on several times telling him about the situation. Okay. And he trying best, how best. Because he gave a contract to the contractors that did the work. And they have been engaging the contractor also, they have been visiting the place. But yesterday the problem has not solved yet. The maintenance of the area is that, first the the corporation has sent a few people, how they can able to take care of the chaos. But right now, even now, the people they are even trained, or we have asked them how they can able to start the work, but yesterday they are not available to start the work to take care of the chaos. It's a challenge.
That was the voice of the security and assistant operator of the LWSC water facility in Wapulu County, that confirming citizens' concern regarding the water situation in that part of Liberia. And up next to this development, former maritime boss, now chief of staff to former President Joshua Lenyoji Namwe, has launched a formal complaint to the Liberia National Police against allegation made by the brother of Cletus Noah. Noah served as chief of his staff to former Finance Minister Samuel Twe during his 6 years as Minister of Finance. Tozo, the brother of the late Cletu Noah, had accused Eugene Namwe and others of having a hand in the death of his brother.
The brother of Mr. Noah, who is King Tozo, sent me a series of text messages to myself and to others, alleging that I had something to do with his death. So, given the gravity of such an accusation, I decided to write the police because he has evidence, as he says, that there was foul play. Then I think the police will investigate to follow up to my complaint. I restated my complaint. They asked me some questions. I also requested that the investigation, as is being carried out, they should also ensure that an autopsy be conducted on the body, which is the only scientific way of determining the cause of death. The police has contacted the funeral homes in Moses to put a temporary stop to the environment activities until a full determination can be made. And I'm pleased with that because it's in the public interest to know what has happened to this man, given the fact that his brother and a few other members of the family are alleging criminality. For some of us, it has happened so many times in Liberia where people make frivolous accusations, and we let it to lie. But in this case, I think the Liberian public needs to know, since the brother has been the one making the accusations, followed by many others, so that the cause of death can be determined. And if there is any criminal cause of death, which was homicide, then the police can go and find the culprits.
Former maritime boss and now chief of staff of former President George Eugene Namwe speaking. With almost half an hour past the news presentation, this is a reminder that you are listening to King's News Broom, 45 minutes of news about Liberia, Africa, and the rest of our one globe. And top stories we are following this afternoon: in Battle House, Speaker Councillor Funati Kofa officially resigns as Speaker of the 55th House of Representatives following months of leadership struggle at the lower house. He described his fight as a good fight for the sake of the Liberian democracy. Citizens of Bopolu City in Bapolu County described government meaning water project as a total waste of state resources following the water system failure to pump out water for locals. However, LWSC Managing Director Mo Ali attributed the situation to lack of expertise by the operators. The body of a man believed to be in his late 20s discovered Sunday morning around the Bonneville housing estate. We are taking a very short break. When we come back, we'll bring you more developments. Welcome back and thanks for rejoining us. The government of Liberia, through the National Fisheries and Aquaculture Authority, with support from the bank, Friday broke ground for the construction of Fish Hub in Clay District, Bomi County. The ceremony marks a broader initiative to empower local fish farmers, reduce reliance on import, and position Liberia as a competitive player in regional fish market. Speaking at the ceremony, NAFAD Executive Director Sarah Semwit hailed the project as a landmark achievement in Liberia's journey towards self-resilience and inclusive economic growth.
And hinder the growth, a moment that symbolizes not only our perseverance, but our shared aspiration to build a more full-scale, economically vibrant, and inclusive nation. What was once a distinct ambition, the dream of a thriving aquaculture industry rooted in local innovation and self-reliance, has now begun to take shape. For far too long, Liberian fish farmers have struggled with limited access to affordable, high-quality fingerlings. This persistent challenge has surpassed production, inflated operational costs, and hindered the growth of what is inherent, one of Liberia's most promising industries. Today, we take a bold step forward. The reconstruction of the clean hatchery marks the beginning of a new chapter, one defined by accessibility, empowerment, and growth. No longer will our farmers face prolonged delays or the financial strain of importing fingerlings. Very soon, they will benefit from reliable commercial grade fingerlings produced right here at home. This facility will be more than a center of production. It will serve as the cornerstone of national development. By lowering operational barriers, boosting productivity, and preparing local producers for market readiness, we are enabling our fish farmers to thrive in a competitive landscape. To provide lasting support, the National Fisheries and Aquaculture Authority will station a dedicated team of trained specialists at this hatchery. These experts will offer technical assistance, extension services, and continuous capacity building, ensuring that farmers have access to real-time guidance and solutions. On the soon-to-be constructed clean hatchery, we are also addressing two of the sector's most pressing challenges.
Also, the NAFA boss noted that the Fish Hub will also include a strong research and development component supported in collaboration with the Central Agricultural Research Institute and academic institution. He said NAFA is adopting a public-private partnership model to operate the facility, ensuring efficiency, transparency, and strong investment opportunities.
The facility will include a dedicated research and development wing that will explore the use of locally sourced raw materials for feed production, reducing our dependence on expensive imports and making aquaculture more accessible to smallholder farmers. Through collaboration with academic institutions and the Central Agricultural Research Institute, CARI, we will generate innovative evidence-based practices tailored specifically to the Liberian conditions. In tandem, this hatchery will also serve as a nucleus for market access by producing a steady supply of high-quality fingerlings and offering training in post-harvest handling, value chain coordination, and business development. The facility will empower farmers to meet rising demand and compete in lucrative markets. This facility, when completed, will adopt a public-private partnership model which will help attract private investment. It will also stimulate innovation, promote contract farming, and connect our producers with buyers, producers. In short, NAFA will competitively recruit a private company to operate this facility. As part of NAFA's broader decentralization agenda, we are also making strategic steps to strengthen the authority's operational resilience. Recognizing the growing demand for regulatory oversight and service delivery across both coastal and inland communities. NAFA is positioning itself to diversify its revenue streams. This shift will reduce reliance on donor funding, boost international sustainability, and ensure our capacity to deliver quality services to stakeholders nationwide. Through improved licensing systems, public-private partnerships, and value-added services, we are building a more self-sustaining and impactful authority. We owe our sincere gratitude to the World Bank for its unwavering support, channeled through NAFA, towards strengthening Liberia's food systems and advancing our national development goals.
Also speaking at the event, World Bank Country Manager George Walland commended the government of Liberia for its vision and leadership in achieving the milestone under the Liberian Sustainable Management of Fishery Project. Walland emphasized the critical importance of strengthening aquaculture as a strategy to light pressure on marine ecosystem, particularly in the face of climate change.
Thank you for the honor of joining you for today's groundbreaking ceremony for the clay hatchery. On behalf of the World Bank, I want to extend hearty congratulations to the government of Liberia and to NAFA for your strong commitment and leadership in reaching this very important milestone. The World Bank is committed to supporting Liberia's fisheries and aquaculture sector through the Liberia Sustainable Management of Fisheries Project. And today we mark a key milestone in our partnership. The World Bank mission is to end extreme poverty and promote shared prosperity on a livable planet. As a development partner dedicated to promoting job creation, food security, and climate resilience, we view clay hatchery as a strategic, high-impact investment. Liberia's fishery sector holds tremendous untapped potential.
World Bank Country Manager there speaking earlier. You listened to NAFA Executive Director Sarah Semwe. And now to this development before our foreign news. QNet, a global wellness and star, the lifestyle company, Friday concluded a one-day comprehensive product workshop for journalists at the Boulevard Palace in Cinco. The one-day comprehensive product workshop is aimed at strengthening relationship with the Liberian media and deepen public understanding of its business model and product. Speaking during this program, the workshop, the QNet Deputy Regional General Manager for Sub-Saharan Africa, Charith Adelaide, emphasized the country's ongoing commitment and as well as the company's commitment to transparency and collaboration with the media.
For some of you, this may be the first time you attend a QNet event, but for others like David from the Daily Observer and reading from the Front Page Africa, QNet is already very familiar. Thanks to regular engagement of officials, whether through office visits or participation in past QNet events, I think they will be able to share the experience they had in Malaysia. They have gained a deep understanding of who we are and also the uniqueness of our product. As you may know, QNet is a 26-year-old wellness and lifestyle focused company with operation in more than 26 countries around the globe. QNet direct selling business model is driven by e-commerce, and through our platform we have empowered more than 100 million of people to transform their lives, whilst also allowing them to pursue their aspirations and goals. In Sub-Saharan Africa, QNet offers an array of life-enhancing products in different areas.
Meanwhile, Adelaide further urged the public to remain vigilant and report any suspicious activity to QNet's compliance website hotline, adding that QNet has already met with security authorities in Liberia, especially from the Liberian Immigration Service and the Liberian National Police, to help address the situation of its brand name being tarnished.
One of the biggest is the issue of the QNet name by some individuals who misrepresent our brand for selfish and fraudulent reasons. We are really aware of that. And we are deeply troubled by reports of these individuals falsely claiming association with QNet when they are arrested. And in most of the cases, these individuals are neither connected to QNet nor authorized to represent our brand. So these individuals deliberately misuse QNet brand and present themselves to our local communities as representative of our brand. And it's not the case. So just to make it clear, QNet is not an employment agency. We don't provide jobs. We do not promise guaranteed income or travel opportunities in exchange for money. And we do not condone illegal gathering or participate in Ponzi or investment schemes, just to be clear. As part of our strategy to fight these crimes, QNet has launched QNet Against Scam campaigns, which is a comprehensive media and public education we have started in Ghana, in Senegal, Nigeria, and other parts of Sub-Saharan Africa.
Manager for Sub-Sahara, the Sahara Africa, Sharif Abdullahi there speaking. And now, away from home, Ukrainian President Zelensky has said he is ready to meet Russian President Vladimir Putin in Turkey on this Thursday for peace talk. This comes after U.S. President Donald Trump in an X post publicly agreed that urged him to accept Putin's offer for direct talks. There is no point in prolonging the killing, and I will be waiting for Putin in Turkey on Thursday, Zelensky said in a social media post. President Zelensky's office allowed the followed it terms 48 hours, during which European leaders backed a call for a 30-day ceasefire starting Monday. However, Putin responded with a counter offer proposing direct talk. Ukraine-Russia talks, the first since the early month of the year 2022 eviction. On this note, this is how we come to the end of today's edition of the News of Program. But before we take leave of you, here are top stories. We close the photo. Embattled House Speaker Funati Kofa officially resigns as Speaker of the 55th House of Representatives following months of leadership struggle at the lower house. He described his fight as a good fight for the sake of the Liberian democracy. Citizens of Wapodu County described government's Meaning Water project as a total waste of state resources following the water's system failure to pump out water for the locals. However, LWSC Managing Director Mo Ali attributed the situation to the lack of expertise by the operators. A body of a man believed to be in his late 20s discovered Sunday morning around the Bonneville housing estate. And away from home, Ukraine President Zelensky has said he is waiting to meet Vladimir Putin in Turkey on Thursday for direct talks, as long there is a ceasefire in place. On this note, I'd like to say many thanks to our news writers, editors for making today's news presentation a success. Sam Andrews brought us the news bulletin, and Janine Pessiman sat at control and ably coordinated the sound system. I'm Stephen Compton. Thanks for watching and listening.